is it, Paul?
Looks like an airplane without wings.
That ain't no airplane. Look.
We've been looking for this car for a really long time, and it's right behind us in this garage. But wait, now I'm ready. Great Scott! It's a DeLorean! If you guys have seen our Ferrari video, you might have seen this DeLorean next to it, and it belongs to a gentleman who has since passed, but we have his son here to tell us a little bit about it, and thankfully he's already met me and understands that I'm a bit of a goofball and can wear crazy costumes like this.
Never seen you after the transformation, though. This is exciting.
Imagine if I came here dressed like this the first time around. You might not have let us take the...
I would have kept the doors locked.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, it's a DeLorean. Where'd it come from?
Came from LA. My dad, as you know, you saw the two Ferraris. He was just loved cars, and he found this in LA. I was actually in Northern California at the time and met him down there, and we drove it back together. So
all the way from California to Minnesota?
Yeah,
wow.
Had a lot of fond memories. It was a wonderful ride.
A lot of people stop you on the way back home?
Everybody was interested in this car. This car, you stop at a gas station, everybody gets around it. If you stop at a four-way stop, every car waits for you to go, even if you don't have the right of way. They're just going to stare you down. It's a very interesting thing. Lights change. The people have a green, they won't go. People are very interested in these cars.
Lots of attention. Brent, you should have gotten one of these instead of your R8. You'd have more people stopping you in traffic. So not only you drove it, but then also his wife drove it. So this was kind of like the family car almost.
Did you ever drive it, Mom?
She said that she hated driving it because everyone would pull up next to her and she couldn't move lanes because they wanted to give her thumbs up and tell her how cool her car was. So it's funny that it became a nuisance of how many people enjoy these.
Yeah.
Obviously, we have the movie history.
Sure.
And, Doc and Marty McFly, which is, I mean, truly why we know the car. How long has it been sitting in the garage?
About 25 years.
And it was running when it was replaced?
Yes. Yep.
I have one last question, though.
Yes, sir.
Did you ever get it up to 88 miles per hour?
I was a little afraid to do that. I didn't know how to set the date.
You didn't want to go?
Yeah, I didn't know which way I would go if I got to 88.
You didn't want to go back to the future?
Or back to the future.
Guys, real quick, our Corvette Z06 giveaway is about to end. There's only a couple days left from the posting of this video. And what's crazy is this is the worst performing giveaway that we've ever done. This is the most expensive car we've ever given away. We had the whole entire car PPF'd. Not only that, but we heard all of your remarks in the comments and we went ahead and paid the $6,000 to change the heads so that you never have to worry about this C6 Z06 dropping a valve and blowing the engine. It also has a Corsa axle back exhaust that makes this car sound amazing. One of the reasons why I don't think that this giveaway has done so well is because we're giving away a sports car as well as selling detailing supplies, and it's December, cold and snowy. But what this does mean is that you have an incredible chance to win a very expensive sports car because less than 3,100 orders have come through our warehouse, which means if you purchase about $100 worth of product, you'll have a 1 in 3,000 chance of winning this car, which are crazy odds. All the other giveaways, there's slim to none odds that you're ever gonna win. This one, you actually have an opportunity. And right now through the end of the giveaway, we are running 30 times entries as well as 10% off site-wide on all of our detailing supplies, microfiber, and merchandise. Guys, this is your last chance, the last call. This giveaway ends in just a few days. If you want the chance to win a $55,000 sports car, go buy something, go get your friends and family some detailing chemicals or merchandise for Christmas, and this Corvette might end up in your garage. Roland, thank you so much, sir.
No, thank you.
We're really excited.
I'm looking forward to see how beautiful this turns out.
Yes, sir. But I'm gonna need some help getting this DeLorean out of the garage. There's only one man for the job. Detail Dane McFly.
How's it going, Doc? Heard we got a DeLorean. Doc, I think we should back this thing up into the road and get it loaded up.
You say roads? You said roads. Are you ready?
Man, I did it.
No, you're good. Sorry. Ready?
Did I?
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
All
Alright guys, enough joking around. There's a huge pile of lumber underneath the DeLorean, so we're gonna move all of that out of the way so we can get the car out of the garage. But I want to ask the question of the video, so leave your answers in the comments below. What do you think is the best Back to the Future movie ever created? And what's one of your favorite quotes from the movie? I've only seen Back to the Future 1 and 2. I tried watching the third one, I couldn't even get 10 minutes in. But hey, maybe some of you think the third one's the best one ever. Let me know in the comments.
Now it's time to get the DeLorean out of the garage. Looks like this steering column, I don't know if it is disconnected. Let's go ahead. Shut the door, Marty. Am I gonna hit my head if I'm this close? Go ahead.
How's that feel coming down like that on you?
Kind of sweet.
Okay, now the DeLorean is finally gonna see the light of day for the first time in 30 years. But I just wanna say, if you're not subscribed to our channel, it's our goal to hit 1.5 million subscribers by the end of this year. And as you can see, we're at 1.4 million, so we're so close. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, please take a second and hit that subscribe button, because next week we found another barn find that's really cool you do not wanna miss out on. And we do all of these details 100% for free. So if you wanna support us, that's the best way to do so.
All right, guys, we are back to the future, or rather back to downtown detail, because the owner, Max, was kind enough to allow us to detail this DeLorean in his shop. Seriously, thank you, man. We could not have done this without you. So if you guys are in Rochester, Minnesota, or the surrounding area, contact Downtown Detail for all your detailing needs. He does great work, and he's a hardworking kid. He's only 18, he already has his own shop. But man, look at this DeLorean. I mean, we've been looking for a DeLorean for a really long time, and it's kind of surreal that we found this in a garage with 2 Ferraris. But this car was actually under a cover, so it's not as dirty as the Ferraris were, which is kind of funny. You'd think you'd put a cover on the Ferraris, not necessarily on the DeLorean. But we're gonna have to be very careful when we wash this, because this is obviously a stainless steel car. And so we're not gonna be using any harsh chemicals that could potentially stain the stainless steel. And we also have some pitting in the stainless steel that we're gonna try and remove. And I'm a little concerned, because usually when we clean stainless steel, we use 4-aught steel wool and metal polish, but we have to make sure we can match the grain. So it's gonna be a little tricky, but I think we're gonna be able to do it. And thankfully we have help from Detail Dane, who came all the way from Traverse City, Michigan, 10-hour drive to come help us with not only the Ferraris, but this DeLorean. So Dane, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing me out here. It's an honor to be working on something as iconic as a DeLorean. I know there's only like, what, 9,000 of them ever made, so to have one in the shop here to be able to touch is an honor.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming. What's your favorite part of this car?
Well, obviously the gull wing doors.
Hard to miss,
that
right?
Is just so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I also noticed there's a Cuban flag here, and so I must have been registered in Cuba at some point. So maybe it's not been in America its whole life, which is kind of neat to say that it came over.
Yeah, a Cuban DeLorean was not on my 2025 bingo card, but here we are. But first things first, like any other detail, we're gonna start with the wheels and tires, and I already noticed something that is surprising. They're staggered. That's a 14-inch wheel, and this is a 15-inch wheel, and obviously we have a much bigger tire on the rear than in the front. Kind of makes me wonder why they stagger the wheels like that, because it doesn't have that much horsepower. I think Dane had mentioned earlier that it only has about 145 horsepower.
Yeah, not much. It's just a V6 motor.
So let us know in the comments why they would stagger a car that doesn't have all that much power. It's kind of behooving me. All right, now moving on to the wash process, we have to be very careful with this vehicle's paint, or rather the lack thereof. This is a stainless steel car, and it's raw stainless steel, so there's no clear coat over top of it. So we're not gonna be using our pre-wash, which is a heavy alkaline cleaner, because it will stain this steel, and then my life will be ruined because I'm gonna have to pay for, I guess, a whole, how do you even fix this? You know, if you ruin a DeLorean, you probably have to have someone come and sand the lines back in. And I don't want to pay for that. I want to make sure that this car looks good and we can surprise Mrs. P, the owner, with it looking as nice as possible when we finish. So we're just gonna use the pressure washer, and then we'll use our Cherry Suds car shampoo, which is pH neutral, which means it has no harsh chemicals that will stain the stainless steel.
And check this out. What we thought was pitting seemed to either be a little bit of mold maybe on stainless steel or a weird pattern of dust, but as we pressure washed off the car, it all came off perfectly. We could not have asked for better results, which made our lives so much easier.
We're going to wash the rear end of the car now, and so we'll start with the louvers and then we'll clean the engine cover. But I know that these engines are pretty finicky and I don't want to cause any more work for the mechanic that ends up working on this DeLorean. So I'm actually thankful because the previous owner had placed this bag over the engine bay. It wasn't necessarily draped over it, but I'm going to go ahead and use it as a cover just to prevent water from getting into the alternator or any other areas that may end up damaging the motor. I don't know how difficult these engines are actually to work on. We'll bring in Joey, who has been studying a lot about these DeLoreans. Joey is Brent's stepbrother who works with us. So we'll see, he'll do his first on-screen cameo where he's actually talking about the car. We'll see how he does. You guys will have to judge him. But in the meantime, I'm gonna drape this over and then we'll go ahead and wash the bonnet and then the louvers.
Now we're gonna thoroughly dry the car, making sure that we get as much water as possible. And if you couldn't tell by the method we were using the wash mitts, we're also using the drying towels in straight lines going with the grains of the stainless steel.
All right, so now we are going to detail the engine bay. We're not going to be using any water because I don't want to cause any more issues for the mechanic that ends up fixing this car. But this is Joey, who is Brent's stepbrother, who works with us full-time at WD now. and this is one of his favorite cars, so that's why he came on the trip with us all the way to Minnesota, and this is his first talking time. He's gonna do an engine bay talking time, and I'm gonna let you guys be the deciders on how well he did, so.
Yeah, not often I get to be the car expert on the channel here, but this is one of my favorite cars I have ever been able to see and now work on. The engine in here is a PRV V6, so it was actually a combination between Peugeot, Renault, and Volvo. They all teamed up to make this engine for this car. It makes about 130 horsepower and like 150 pounds of torque roughly. So really not all that powerful, especially since this car was made to be a competitor to cars like Ferrari and Lamborghinis and stuff like that. Honestly, super, super cool. They made a few modifications to this as well to fit this car specifically. They actually moved the exhaust manifold and the intercooler in this engine to make it fit this engine bay. Because originally this car was a mid-engine car and they had to switch because the company that originally made the engine for them went out of business. So they made a whole bunch of modifications sort of on the fly when they were making this car, which, you know, I'm sure had a lot to do with why it didn't exactly last very long.
That was freaking amazing, Joey. Holy smokes. That was well done, brother. That was really good. I don't even care what anyone says in the comments. I thought you did a great job. They might comment on how you pronounce Peugeot. I think you called it Pigot. I'm kidding. You did a great job, man. Seriously, thank you for coming out and helping us with it. But let's go ahead and clean the engine bay with a waterless degreasing. All right, now it's time to check to see what's in the frunk of the DeLorean. Oh, I think this might actually be the plastic wrap that came with the car when it was brand new. Let's see if there's anything underneath this. Oh. Hey, a spare tire. It is pretty interesting looking. So we'll go ahead and pull out the spare tire, we'll clean that, and then we'll clean the rest of the frunk with our super slick ceramic sealant. That's hard to say, but easy to use, and make this frunk look much nicer. All right, now it's time for the interior talking time. I'm pretty big, and I hardly fit into this car, or at least I thought. When I let the door down, I actually realized, even though the headliner is drooping, that this gives you about another inch of headroom. So I actually fit in this car, which is nice. I don't fit in a lot of 80s cars, definitely not 80s sports cars. So I'm relieved that I can actually sit in here comfortably. A couple other things I noticed, obviously this is a 5-speed manual, which apparently they made more of the manuals than the automatics, which I agree. They should make more manual cars. It's a shame that they don't anymore. And you can see my knee moving the steering column, but that's not the DeLorean's fault. At some point, there was some work happening on the car, so the steering column is disconnected. It has left to chat. A few more things that I noticed that are really funny about this interior are that the buttons are massive, especially the window buttons. These have to be the largest window buttons I've ever seen on a car. These are huge. Another thing I noticed that's pretty cool is that the door light on the dash, it shows the gull-wing door and obviously a little DeLorean, which I think is a nice touch. And just in case you forget how to start your DeLorean, you have an instruction manual right here. And it actually says to put the accelerator down 1/4 of a total stroke before turning it on.
Does it mention how to turn on the flux capacitor?
That it does not, but Dane's gonna come over and let us know how to do it. Dane!
Dane, how do you turn on the flux capacitor to this car?
You get it to 88 miles an hour.
Well, this car doesn't have one. The whole back of the car is actually, you should show them. It's pretty barren, which actually I guess made for a good movie prop car because it gave them a lot of room to work in this car and put the whole setup for Back to the Future. It also has the owner's manual still, which is kind of cool.
Very cool. It's a rad place to be. I just wish the steering column wasn't smashing my legs into the side of the car.
Well, how about you get out and we clean all this mold?
Yes, there's quite a lot of mold.
Is that cool? This feels so futuristic, but it's in the past. If you want to get a McDonald's double cheeseburger, you gotta fit it through here.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like the little kids meal box, I bet you wouldn't fit through here.
And now using the stainless steel polish in a can, we're gonna polish the stainless steel, and I already did a test spot. You can see on the left, it's already been done, and on the right, we haven't touched it. And it's so much brighter and better looking. And when watching Alex from Legit Street Cars video on his DeLorean, another popular product for these cars is Barkeeper's Friend, but I feel like we got just as good of a result with this too. And we did this last week, and because admittedly we don't have too much experience with trim restoration, if you take a cleaner wax, you can get a lot of the dirt off of these plastic pieces, and it still brings them back to life a ton. But we're open to learning how to do trim restoration, so if any of you have experience with that, you could leave comments down below.
All right, guys, we are here with Mrs. P, who is the wife of Mr. P, who owned the vehicles. She was gracious enough to allow us to come out here to clean the vehicles for her. And this is the last out of the three. I might be mistaken, but this one feels a little bit closer to your heart than the others. Am I correct, or am I?
I got to drive this one.
So it's the one that you personally got to drive?
I personally got to drive it twice. It was a beast to drive because I couldn't change lanes because everybody pull up next to you. And I did get it up to 80 miles an hour. I couldn't get it to 88.
Oh, couldn't get up. Well,
cop on the highway.
Well, good thing. Otherwise, you know, you wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
You would have gone back to the future. Are you ready to see the car?
Yeah,
Are you ready?
Definitely.
All right.
Oh, wow. Are we sure that's the same car?
Remember how we were super concerned about the pitting? Got it all out. We actually just washed it away.
You guys are just amazing. Oh, this would make me so happy.
You think he's smiling from up there?
I can feel it.
Aw. Man, this is seriously what it's all about. Like, again, I mentioned this before in the Ferrari video, but at the end of the day, it's just metal and rubber and glass, but the people that drive them make them so special.
I'm too old to fold up to get into it anymore.
The fact that you drove this one, it made it pretty special for us to be working on, and I really can't thank you enough for trusting us.
Well, I have a friend in London that I sent a picture of it as you were pulling it out the other day. And he said, well, you need to keep that car. And I said, that car needs to be driven by somebody that loves it. And I love it, but I can't fold up enough to get into it easily.
Well, the cool thing is, you know, I don't know what your plan is for it. I know your son's pretty interested in it, so hopefully it gets driven by the family for at least a little while.
It's going to be loved.
And you're loved, and we thank you so much. Seriously, again, this is such a privilege.
You guys are just amazing. I can't believe the transformation. It's beautiful. It makes me happy to know that it's the way it should be.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. This was one of the best series that we've ever filmed for our channel. So we're thankful that you guys got to follow along in it. Thank you so much to Dane for helping us on the DeLorean and his whole team. Without them, there was no way that we were gonna get this done. And thank you so much to Downtown Detail from Rochester, Minnesota. If you're ever in the area and you need detailing work, contact Max. He does a great job, and he's only 18 and he has this shop already, and without him, none of this would have been possible. So go hit him up if you're in the area. This is your last chance to get entered in the Z06 giveaway, so go to the website and purchase any of our detailing supplies. It's linked in the description, or you can go to wdautosupply.com. And right now it's 30 times entries and 10% off. This is your last call. Click now, go get entered. But thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more. We'll see you next week.